All right, guys. So if you guys watch my channel, you have seen basically my sharpening videos of this thing. You have seen basically the explanation of basically the roots of this knife and where it came from. If you're watching this for the first time, let me entertain you and let you know basically where this is all coming from. Now, this knife is called the Wild Eagle. It came to life from Shade, Indonesia. Shany from Shade, Indonesia. Now, if you guys don't know Shade, Indonesia, I'm going to leave the links to his stuff. He does some amazing, fantastic style type of weaponry, and it just there's a little bit of fantasy in them. They look like kind of video game creations and stuff like that, and they're just a lot of fun, and they're all really badass looking pieces. They are made to be very fantastic looking knives, but they are also made to be real weapons and real knives that you can actually rely on if that shit hits the fan, or if it's just something, an emergency situation arises. They are real deal hard use weapons and tools. Now, what I always say about Shade Indonesia, his knives and the way he designs them, I mean, this is the Wild Eagle. You can see this thing looks like it has eagle's talons and eagle's beak. It really does look like an actual wild eagle. I don't know if that was done on purpose or if they just named it afterwards, but it really is just, this looks like the eagle's talon. It's pretty damn wild how they made this thing. It's beautiful. The way I look at his creations are something that you would want to have a boatload of his stuff, of his designs, if it was an end of days type of scenario, or if it was an emergency scenario where you needed the best lethal weapon style knives, okay, to be able to defend your life or the life of your family with. I mean, shit hits the fan type of knives is pretty much the way I see his knives being made. They're made to work. They can wood process. They can be camp knives. They can be really cool, fantastic looking camp knives. They're sharp. They're made with, this one is made with 5160 steel. Don't quote me on it. I don't have all the specs on it. I believe this is 5160, and it smells like 5160, so it's got to be 5160 steel. Without a doubt, it's definitely 5160 steel because it passed my smell test. 5160 is a great freaking steel. Now, this knife looks like a fighting knife. That's really what it is. Because honestly, holding the grip like this, it's not. I think it would be a little uncomfortable just doing a lot of crazy chopping with it because it might actually just hurt your hand here. But being basically this type of knife, the way it was designed, you can't chop with it, you can't cut with it, you can't do all the normal stuff that you would want to do with a big Bowie clip type of knife. But this is really honestly more designed to be a fighter, a knife that basically you're going to defend yourself with, a personal protection type of knife. You know, you will be the apex predator with this type of knife. That's why it's designed. But it's fun. They're fun knives. I love how he makes his knives. The designs are pretty badass and awesome and different looking, but they're not the typical fantasy knives that just don't work. These knives work. These knives chop. These knives cut. These knives are just really, really great, well-made knives. Shany is an incredible, incredible maker. One of the greatest makers out there, as far as I'm concerned. His knives are badass, and they're really durable and tough. Now, getting back to the story of the knife, guys, this knife was sent to Scab. This was sold to a customer, and that whoever had it, and if he's watching it, I'm sorry to say it, but you must have did some stupid stuff with this blade. You must have kind of just hit stone, maybe on purpose or by accident. You hit stone with it, and you had a couple of chips that you can see on the screen here on the top of the blade, towards the middle of the blade, just a lot of really deep chips. So Scab had asked me, can you kind of, if I send you this knife, can you kind of take the chips out and sharpen it up and bring it back to life? I said, absolutely, send it my way. The extra fine belt, which you're seeing in the video right now, me basically trying to buff it through with the last belt, but I went through 2 sets of belts 2 times, had to take off a lot of metal to get the stupid chips, idiotic chips that this guy must have hit stone into the blade, which is not what you're supposed to do. And then he wanted to get a replacement, which is, I don't know the whole story, but I know it was damaged pretty bad. I figure I'll do like a look over review because I love having Shany pieces in my hand whenever possible. And I was going to send this back to Scab so he could do his initial review on it. Really what I wanted to do is give you my initial impressions of this knife, which are great. I love this knife. I love how it feels. I love the comfort and different ways you can kind of really choke up on it, even with this extra finger choy here, which is not that deep, but it's enough where you can kind of choke up on it and do some like wood kindling and do some tighter work, with this knife, and be, can be an alternative camp knife type of thing. And if you want to chop with it, you can chop with it. And then you know what? You put a pair of gloves on it, you have no issue. You can chop away with this thing till freaking the cows come home, and you'll be fine with it, and it'll do its thing. But I just love the make of it. I love the look of it. The fit and finish is excellent. It's just a beautiful freaking knife. Fantastic looking. Love his knives and how he makes them, how he designs them, how he executes them. These are awesome. Like stonewash type of finish, which you don't see any scratches or mars or anything from use. I put a really great edge on this thing. This thing is sharp as hell, so I really didn't even want to cut with this thing because I wanted to preserve it to give it to Scab with a really nice, fine, convex style edge so he can use it. But you can't hold this knife in your hand and not do any cutting with it. So we're going to do a little cutting with it. That's it, just a little bit. Thing bites really hard. Bites, but there's a lot of control. That wasn't too hard. Yeah, there's definitely, this thing really bites really hard. This is a hard hitter, and it's not a very heavy knife, but just the way the recurve and everything about it, I love just how this blade geometric cutting is awesome. And I'm curious to see what Scab thinks. There is a little discomfort here that you're basically doing a lot of heavy chopping because, your hand's in between the metal and you're kind of rubbing against it. With a lot of hard chopping, there is some friction in the fingers. So I was wondering if Scab feels the same thing. Or maybe I just have dainty fingers, whatever the case is. Well, I'll take it as it comes. But yeah, there is definitely a little discomfort here. If you wanted to use it as a chopper, you definitely could. But again, if you put a pair of gloves on, you'll be absolutely fine. You can chop away, do whatever you need to do. But quick work of the blade. I mean, it's a nice sharp edge, and it's just a great design to kind of just cut with. This is a great cutting and chopping knife, and great just piercing and self-defense type of knife. This is awesome. So Shany, being the designer and basically the supplier that he is, the maker that he is, he did basically supply the buyer basically with a brand new knife, and this knife was kind of just sent to Scab to kind of just fix up and play with and do whatever he needs to do with. So and Shany did the right thing, even though it wasn't his fault. I think the guy did stupid shit with the edge, because this thing, unless you hit it onto stone, I mean, this is not going to chip the way it chipped just doing normal knife stuff. It really is that good of a knife. But I have the ultimate confidence in Shany, Indonesia. I love their knives. I love the look and the design of their knives. He does such a great job in giving you some fantastic looking pieces, but pieces that work and pieces that basically you can rely on in an emergency, in a casual setting, in a camp setting, in any type of setting, okay? These are just lethal weapons, apex predator type of fucking weapons. I really like what he does. So hope to get my hands on more Shany Indonesia pieces, but definitely check him out on Instagram. He's got some really beautiful pieces that you may want to look into and commission him for. But great job, Scab. This is coming to you. I think you're going to love it. Still got a pretty nice edge. I didn't do any cutting with it. As I said, I wasn't going to, but I had to do a little chopping, and this thing was awesome. But I'm curious to see your view on this knife and how it feels in your hand doing some heavy chop. So guys, Shany Indonesia, this is a Wild Eagle. Excellent knife. It was a pleasure for me to sharpen this thing up and make it fly again, and pleasure to use and to kind of hold. This is an awesome knife. Another great knife from Shany Indonesia. I really like what he done.